Welcome back to the Daily Drum on WHUR and Sirius XM Channel 141. I'm Harold Fisher. This is another Take Back Our Community Thursday as we talk about organizations or initiatives that make our community safer and more productive. Now, having a career is one of the best ways to improve your way of life and, by extension, making the community where that career oriented person lives more stable. But we also know for young people getting started in a career or even choosing one can be difficult. Well, for the second year, Employ Prince George's is preparing for its youth career takeover later this month. And joining me to talk about it is Walter Simmons, CEO and president of Employ Prince George's. Walter, thank you so much for talking to us about this.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. For those who aren't familiar with this youth career takeover, explain what you're trying to do for the second year in a row.
Well, listen, we've seen before the pandemic and drastically after, we've seen news, we've seen what's been happening with our young people. There is a true disconnect happening in our community. Right now, young people don't have a direction. Young people are going out. We see youth crime escalating. We also see youth violence and the victims of crime being youth escalating. And what we realize is that one, when a lot of young adults are in school, they're not being connected to a future. They're taking a test because they believe like they have to take this test, but they don't see how this test relates to their long-term economic success. And we know with young people, it's about those dollars, right? It's about immediate satisfaction. What have you done for me lately? Really, what have you done for me now? So what the youth takeover is about and the career takeover is engaging young Prince George's County residents ages 16 and 24 and connecting them to opportunities to engage with employers, to engage with training providers, to engage with colleges, to engage with everybody related to careers, mentors, training providers, colleges, and really start showing them for ages 16 to 24, because we even on the young adults, older youth, right? They think they're grown, but we know they need those connections too, right? It's really about just getting these people back on track. And it's very key, two key groups. We got the people in high school, because did you know that Prince George's County Public Schools graduates 8,000 young people per year? On average, they say about 2,000 are not on track for the college or the military. That's a lot of people. We want to make sure that within 90 days of graduation, every Prince George's County Public School senior within 90 days has a career track so they don't become a statistic. And the reason why we do that 18 to 24, those young people who are out in the world that didn't get put on that track before they graduated, we're trying to grab them. We also don't want them to become one of those negative statistics. The only statistic we want them to be is people that are gainfully employed, contributing in our society, and creating a path for the future.
It's interesting that you talk about young people 18 to 24. As you may have heard, the U.S. House of Representatives yesterday, they passed a bill, and this is for the District of Columbia, but I think this still bears discussing, that is going to restrict the criminal determination for youth offenders. As you know, in the past, they were considered youth offenders if they were under the age of 25. Again, this is for the District of Columbia. For DC, that's a piece of legislation from 1985. But now this new bill would cap it at 18. You would no longer be considered a youth offender after the age of 18. And I think, Walter, this speaks to the heart of what you're trying to do in getting young people, yes, adults, young adults, to make sure they're on the career track instead of the criminal track.
That's exactly what it is. We as adults, we keep saying these youth don't understand it. We don't know what's happening. I'm saying we're the problem, right? When you want to start fixing something, you start in the mirror, right? And I always tell our team at Employ Prince George's, young people see the world through the lens that we create. We've created a lens in our group that did not adjust with the next generation. They don't see a future for what we've created. And what in the vision that we've created for them, they don't see a future. That's why you see truancy rates are up, right? That's why you see high school completion rates are down. You see these negative trends. I can't blame a 16-year-old. I can't blame a 17-year-old whose brain hasn't matured, because they can only see what's in front of them. So we have to change what they see. One, they need to see people making money in successful careers that are legitimate and legal, right? And they have to understand that those people are making the money that they want to make. They are buying the cars, they're buying the things, they have those things that we know years and decades of life later, they're going to say, oh, that stuff ain't important. It's not important in the long run, but it is important to those young people now. And so we really have to go back to a Obama principle: change you can see is change you can believe in. And so we are changing this lens that young people see, and not trying to give them what we think they need, but really trying to see the world through their lens and put the right objects in front of them that are going to lead them to a positive outcome. And when you see the career takeover, it is going to look like a young people event. We have event, last year we had eyelash techs, right? Because we know that we had nails. We had the studio in there with DJs and production, right? Where a lot of older people are going to say, damn, that's not something they need to focus on. There's young people out here making six figures doing eyelashes.
Mm-hmm.
Six figures sounds like a good career to me. And if you got somebody that's talented, that's 16 or 17, let's show them how to start a business. Let's talk to them about an LLC. Let's talk to them about insurance. Let's talk to them about safety. That's what this is about, while also doing the traditional careers. So we're going to have all of that there. We also have a fashion show. If they want to design clothing, we have to stop putting a label and a box on what success looks like for young people, and instead show them the things that we want to show them, but also show them what they're interested in that leads them down a positive pathway.
So there's so much that you just spoke about, and I want to drill down on a lot of it. But even before we do that, talk to me about when this is, where this is, and who can participate. Is it only for Prince George's County residents? Run that down for me, please.
So the 2024 Employ Prince George's Career Takeover is happening on May 30th, right? May 30th, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Last year we had people walking in at 6:50. Listen, y'all, 3 p.m. At 6:50 we closing shop.
Right.
So 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. 7 people we're closing. People should we had 500 people show up last year. So wow. I would tell people show up at 2:30 so that you don't have to wait in that long line. We had 800 young people register last year. We had 5 people show up. So we are expecting a huge crowd. 3 p.m. May 30th at the South Regional Technology and Recreation Complex. And I'm going to give you that exact address. It's 7007 Bach Road in Fort Washington. 7007 Bach Road in Fort Washington. The Southern Regional Technology and Recreation Center from 3 to 7 p.m. on May 30th. And it is going to be an amazing opportunity. Now, it is targeted towards Prince George's County young people ages 16 to 24. If there's young people out there that want to show up, that are coming from D.C., that are coming from Waldorf or Charles County, we're not going to turn you away, right? Because I care about young people across the board. Employ Prince George's, we're about connecting that dot. If a young person from outside of Prince George's County wants to show up, come on, bring them. If you want to bring a young person, bring them. We'll provide them with whatever resources and connections. But most of the resources are targeted for Prince George's County residents. But and we in the field of achievement in every field of human endeavor. So I'm not going to turn away any young person that comes to this event. yo to the noobs, right? So I'm not going to turn away any young person because, this is the change we have to make in our community. So no young person is going to be turned away. But May 30th, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m., 7007 Bach Road, the Southern Regional Technology and Recreation Center. We're going to have employers. We're going to have colleges. We're going to have training providers, the workforce certificate, CDL, IT, project management. We're going to have everything you need for a 16 to 24-year-old to talk about a brighter future, making a livable wage, and really putting people on a pathway. We're also going to stop talking about financial literacy. If you get this money, how do we start them early, putting them on the pathway to own a home? Housing is expensive. You got to start preparing. But why aren't we talking to these young people about home buying? Why aren't we talking to them about their credit score? Yeah, we've been talking about this for years, Howard. We've been talking about this for years. Still, it's not happening. The career takeover is going to address all of those for young people between the ages of 16 and 24 on May 30th, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m.
So if I'm a 16 or 17-year-old high school student, or if I'm a 20-year-old guy or woman coming to this event and I don't exactly know what to expect, should I bring a resume? Should I dress for an interview, even if I'm just kind of sticking my head in the door? What do you suggest?
I would say this is like church, come as you are, right?
Okay.
The thing is, if you have a resume, bring it. If you don't have a resume, we're going to do career readiness training. We're going to help you create one. If you have a resume, but you don't think it's good, bring what you got. If you have dress clothes and you want to dress because there will be employers, dress those. If you don't have dress clothes, we'll help you get some. Okay. And these employers know the population they're working with. But also keep in mind, you said if they don't know what they want to do, we want you there because we're going to talk to you about career planning. There's going to be traditional educational providers there. There's going to be non-traditional education providers there. There's going to be employers there that can employ you without a high school diploma, right? So this is for everybody. You don't have to know what you want to be. This event is to help you identify or get you down that pathway. But also, if you know what you want to be, we're going to have those resources there. And you also mentioned a college student. Mm-hmm. We're defining young people up to 24. We want that Bowie State University student. We want that Prince George's County resident that's at Norfolk State. That's at we don't talk about it up here. If they're at the other H, we're not gonna call them the other H. If they're at Hampton, I know I got my Hampton people here too, right? So if you're in college and you're not sure, this event is for you. We got employers on site, right? We're also gonna have government agencies. So there's gonna be talking about summer youth employment, internship. And that's for young people in high school and young adults in college. There's a lot of programming in Maryland right now, like the Department of Service and Civic Innovation. They will pay you for 1 year. They will pay you for 1 year to help you figure it out. They will be on site. So this is for everybody, Harold. This is for everybody. Every young person, 16 to 24, whether you know what you want to do or you don't know, we got something there for you.
Now, you mentioned last year you had 500 people register. Do you have to register?
We had 800 people register. We would prefer you to register, but we won't turn you away.
So where do you register? Before the break, tell me where you go to register.
CareerTakeover.com. It's easy.
Okay. That is so easy. CareerTakeover.com.
CareerTakeover.com.
Wonderful. Walter, please hang on just a bit because we are going to take a break, but the Daily Drum will continue in just a bit. And please don't forget, you can hear this and every edition of the Daily Drum Insight segment via podcast on WHUR.com. The Daily Drum will continue on Sirius XM channel 141. The Original Quiet Storm with John Mons is next on WHUR. I'm Harold Fisher. This conversation continues on Sirius XM channel 141 in just a few seconds. Welcome back to the Daily Drum on Sirius XM Channel 141. I'm Harold Fisher. We continue our conversation about the Youth Career Takeover Plan for later this month by Employ Prince George's. My guest is CEO and President Walter Simmons. Walter, we were talking about bringing as many young people as possible to the table, to this event. I'm curious, where are these other participants coming from? You said you had a wide range. You had government, educational participants. You have obviously CDL and other kinds of. How do you get all of these people under the same tent? And what are they telling you about some of the issues for young people that may be an impediment to them finding a career or even getting employed?
Well, I'm gonna toot our horn a little bit.
Okay.
We do this, right? Workforce development in this region, especially in Prince George's County, we're a national leader, right? We've got the awards, we've got the recognition. We have the Youth Career Connections program, Harold, that works with in-school youth from the ages of 14 to undergrad and college. We have the largest in-school youth program in the DMV, where it doesn't matter if you're a Prince George's County resident at a middle school or you're a Prince George's County resident in college. And you don't even have to be a resident in a local college. If you're in Prince George's County and you can go to school at San Diego State in California and you're here for the summer, you can be enrolled in our program. Because we're in 74 middle and high schools in Prince George's County through Youth Career Connections. So what we're doing, and this is key, Harold, too, parents need to show up.
Okay.
Guardians need to show up, right? Because we're not sure
to show up
because they don't know all the resources available. When I hear parents say, "Oh, there's no resources," there's no resources that you're aware of.
Okay.
Right? So we're in the community. That's why we're the same people we work with: mentor organizations, summer employment organizations, training providers, cybersecurity training, right, for the schools. We know these resources exist. Those resources want to serve youth. We've invited them. But do the parents know they exist, right? Are they sure? Are they checking that book bag? Do they know that this pre-program exists, right? I don't think they do, because I think if a lot of parents knew these resources were available, they would have the young people enrolled in them. So that's why I said parents can come too to see these resources that we see every day. That's why we're taking the work that we do every day, the people that we serve in these middle and high schools every day, and we're bringing them. And that's why it goes till 7. Normally, we do stuff at job fair 12 to 2. Parents are working, right? 3 to 7, from 5 to 7 allows for people to get off work, meet their child or bring their child so they can come after work, 3 to 7 p.m., right? So we do that for the in-school. Outside of that, we also have the Youth Career Center in Suitland, and we have the Knowledge Equals Youth Success Program. And that works with 18 to 24 out-of-school youth, right? So we're bringing all of those out-of-school resources for that, what we call opportunity youth. So we do this work 7 days a week, right? Because working with our young people is a full-time job. Shout out to Jennifer Ricks, Brittany Glover, Diane, the whole team, Asumeni Shannon. We got a great team. How we got we have a youth program. Our youth team is over 80 staff, right? And so what we're trying to do, Harold, is just bring all of those connections. There's going to be 40 plus entities here that are all geared towards helping young people get a brighter future. And we know they exist, but now we want to make sure that the community knows they exist. And I don't believe they know it.
Why do you believe it is so difficult for some young people to find employment, much less trying to figure out what they want to do as a career? What are employers telling you are some of the impediments?
Well, let's start first what I see. When I ask a young person what they want to do, I don't know. They shrug the shoulders. They look down. We can see those visual IQs. We have one thing that we can offer online to people when they engage with us. We have a career assessment where young people can take a test to see what they actually like. And we can say, hey, you said you don't know what you want to do, but based on the answers to this test, it says you will like healthcare, you like science. So that's the first piece, right? Someone who doesn't know what they want to do and they're applying for a job just because mama told them to apply or grandma told them to apply, or if they feel pressure to apply, they can't answer those questions. A person that knows what they're looking for, they're going to be like, yeah, that person's not disengaged. They're not really disengaged. They just don't know the pathway. So the first thing is, and that's why we offer free career assessments to every Prince George's County youth ages 16 to 24. That'll give them a printout that says what they're interested in. Then we actually can connect them to opportunities based on what they're interested in. And we will educate them on what does it mean? What does a healthcare career mean? So that's the first piece. Now, from an employer standpoint, people don't know how to interview. People don't know how to complete an application. And they don't understand the world of work, right? So that's also why we're offering career readiness training and those other resources to really prepare them, right? The third piece, and this is something we don't talk about enough, mental health. Some people just aren't ready. There's a lot of stuff happening in life. We had 2 young people get shot a couple of weeks ago, right? You see death on the news all the time. You know it as well, Harold, right? So that's why last year, and again, we offer mental health, right? A lot of times they can't process what they're feeling and they're not able to communicate effectively because of that mental strain. So that's why we offer the mental health. So some of our young people just aren't well. They're not coping. So we need to educate them on career assessments and careers and show them, this is what it seems like you're interested in. Can we coach you on it? Once we know that, we do the career readiness. We talk to them about the world of work. We get them on that right path. And then for those that we identify there's some deeper issues here, that's why we also have the mental health support.
You spoke, unfortunately, about the crime element regarding young people in the county, but certainly statewide, as you may or may not have heard, in Annapolis, Governor Moore this morning signed several criminal justice bills. Obviously, these bills, these new laws are designed to crack down on crime, to make our communities safer. But I think one of the underlying messages is that, particularly for young Black people, is that if you are in the streets doing things that you ought not do, that the powers that be are looking for you, and they are coming for you. And this kind of event really, I think, speaks to that, because if you're not at the youth career takeover trying to find the correct path, as we said earlier in this conversation, you may find the incorrect path.
100%. But let's talk about the other side, right? My county exec, Angela D. Also Brooks, just won her primary race.
Right.
One of the things that I'll scream at the top of my lungs, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for Angela Also Brooks and her great leadership. She understands that, she was the state's attorney. She was the chief prosecutor, right? Mm-hmm. And she believes in having a safe Prince George's County, right? But what also she believes in and has supported? Economic opportunity. You can fight crime with the justice system all you want, but if you truly want to reduce crime, create economic opportunity. And that's why County Executive Also Brooks has created the Youth Leadership Institute. She's doubled summer youth employment. She's doubled the amount of workforce investment funding. So, this is a part of that mission of making Prince George's County safer. And I've been honored to work for her since she got in office, where she's always saying, where's Employ Prince George's? If we're going to engage youth, if there's crime, she always says, bring Employ Prince George's, because not only, if people commit a crime, you have to, take the next step with the justice system. But she's also said that a lot of people are creating crime because they need money. They need food. There's poverty. So that's why she's really been promoting putting money in the pockets of young people through and then while also developing them. So we have the Youth Leadership Institute. We have doubled the Summer Youth Employment Program under her leadership. And those are the resources. Those are the resources that we're bringing to the Career Takeover. But again, part of the reason why we do this is because we got to make sure that the community knows about the resources. I don't want a young person in Prince George's County to go down a pathway, not because something didn't exist, but in reality, it's because no adult near them or they themselves didn't know there were other opportunities there. And that's why we got to promote. That's why I'm here today. I appreciate what WHUR is doing and you having us on the show, because we are really changing lives and we are really preventing people from going down a pathway. Most of these programs are free, and there's 20, 30 employers that want to hire people. But if people don't know the opportunities exist, how are they going to take advantage? And that's why Angela Alston-Brooks has always been a staunch supporter of workforce development, because she believes that economic opportunity will decrease crime.
You were talking earlier about some of those, really direct conversations with young people, and what this career could possibly do, and how much money. As you said, they want, they want to make money, but what kind of conversations are you having with them around the piece about work and and making money? What is the thing? How much money do they want, and do they understand that this stuff isn't just going to happen overnight? That's why we're not talking about just jobs. We're talking about careers.
They don't understand. And sadly, you know what it is? They think to make money, the traditional route, they think it's going to take 30 years. And they're like, I can't wait that long. I can't wait that long either. Right? You can't wait that long. And so what we are showing them is they don't know career pathways. Most people don't know career pathways. Before you become a doctor, you can become a nurse practitioner. Before you become a nurse practitioner, you can become a nurse, a BSN. Before you get your bachelor's degree in nursing, you can get your nursing degree from a 2-year college. Before you get that 2-year college, you can get an LPN certificate. Before LPN, you can become a medical assistant, which takes 6 months. Before that, you can become a nurse's aide, which takes a month to 2 months, right? All of those are the career pathway, right, that they can start making money. And we're talking about you can be a doctor, and they're like, yeah, that's going to take 8 years. I ain't got time, sis. And I'm here to say, like, no, let's start talking about how you can start making money now, but still be on that long-term career trajectory. And Harold, that's what we're not talking to them about. And that's what our programs do. That's what this career takeover is about, is getting them on that career pathway: healthcare, transportation, logistics, IT, cybersecurity, professional services, construction and real estate. And a lot of these, Harold, they can start making $40,000 to $50,000 with a high school diploma. And we also are partnering with, we're the first job center in America with you can come check us out too, right? The first job center in America in a building trades union. Do you know that the painters union will hire somebody without a high school degree, and the average salary is about $55,000 a year? Without a high school, without a high school
diploma. Yeah.
Without a high school diploma. And what they're going to say is you'd have to enroll in a adult education program within 1 year, but you can start making $45,000 to $55,000 a year without a high school diploma. And Harold, that's what I'm saying. I don't think people know that. And that's why news outlets like what you're doing, having us on today, and why this career takeover is, I want to let people know. We can get people starting on a career path that's going to pay $30,000 to $40,000 a year with just an 8-week certification. 8 weeks. High school credential, 8 weeks, you can start getting on that pathway. CDL, we partner with Hope Project, Raymond Bell. We graduated 94 CDL drivers last year. They're one of the most in-demand careers. 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, bam, you're now on a pathway to 6 figures. All of these opportunities are going to be there, and we're showing them what is that track, what is the immediate goal that you can get in the next few weeks, and then what is that 2-year, 4-year plan. And we do entrepreneurship. So if you think one day you want to own your trucking company, you want to own your own healthcare business, we're going to teach you how to do that as well.
See, that was the next question, because we are living, I think, amongst a generation of young people who want to be their own bosses, who have the energy and may have an idea, but may not necessarily understand everything that goes into being your own boss, being an entrepreneur.
And that's why entrepreneurship is one of our core elements. That's why we had last year the lash technician. That's why we focus on, that's an easy nail tech, lash tech, right? You can be a rapper, or you can own a production studio. If you can know how to make beats, I can produce a clean sound. If you want to, a lot of our young people are in culinary, want to have a food truck. What does it take to start a food truck, right? What does it mean to have an LLC? All of these components. And that's why we talk about financial literacy, because your personal credit is going to be your business credit if you want to start a business. And if you haven't been working on that since you're 18 and you've been messing up your credit, you're not going to be able to get that business loan. And that's why we have a financial literacy component, right? So we're tying it all together and really making sure that they have the resources. But I also want to say this. Now, while we already have 40 to 50 vendors and supporters, we got room for 100. If you're hiring, you contact Employ Prince George's. If we haven't reached out to your nonprofit and you say, hey, I'm not signed up to attend, email us. Go to the website, employpg.org. I talked to an employer today. They said, can we still attend? I said, absolutely. Pull up.
So, and I think that's an important thing. As an employer, what would be the benefit? Why should they come to this event? We already know what the benefit would be for a young person: career, job, direction. But if I'm an employer, why show up? Why become a vendor, as you say?
Well, and let me put this: it's free to show up, right? So they're not paying to be a vendor. One, if you are a training program and you're recruiting people, many events that bring you 500 people in one sitting for 4 hours, you can meet, that's over 100 people an hour, right? So there's going to be a huge opportunity to connect with young people if that's your business, either training, summer jobs, things of that sort. If you're an employer, also keep in mind, there's a lot of competition, right? There's more jobs than people now. The market, Harold, when I first came on your show 4 or 5 years ago, it was an employer market where there was more people than jobs. Now it's the opposite. It's a job seekers market where you got to compete for people. And if you're competing for young people, we got an opportunity to put you in front of 500 candidates, right? And we see it all the time. Employers say, hey, these people just don't want to work. And I say, oh, well, the person that you wanted to hire that interviewed, they're working. They just didn't choose you.
Right.
So if you want to compete and you want to get in front of several hundred, because everybody that shows up to this event, they might not know what they want to do, but they showed up, so they know they want to do something. And this is your opportunity to get in front of people that are looking for a brighter future. And if you're trying to recruit people, we're gonna put 500 people right in front of you. We have one of the largest youth employment events in Maryland with at least 400 to 500 people. And we hope that we can grow that. That was last year. We hope we can grow it this year. So if you are a training provider, a nonprofit, and you need to do outreach to young people, we've demonstrated we bring 400 or 500 people in. If you're an employer and you're trying to engage young talent, this is an opportunity to get in front of 400 or 500 people, and it's free for everybody. We are going to have to make sure they're real organizations and real businesses.
Yeah, they have to be vetted. No question.
Yeah, they got to be vetted, so you can't just show up. So employpg.org, you can see youth services, our email, our website. You can contact us. You can find us on social media. We're everywhere. But I'm not turning away a young person, and I'm not turning away an employer.
Let me ask you this, because last year was the first year. What was the genesis of this idea? How did last year come about?
Really, it started before that. We partnered. Jennifer Ricks is our amazing director of youth services. She's a Bowie State grad. She's a PGCPS grad. And really, our young people are out in the community. They're out at concerts. They're out at these things. And really, our youth team was feeling from social events, right, that young people wanted something else. They were like, yeah, we want to hang out and have something cool, but we also wanted to be constructive. And there was, you had fun or work, and there was no balance. So we saw this as an opportunity to bring all of that together, to bring music, bring fashion, bring education, workforce development, jobs, career readiness, mental health, targeted just to 16 to 24. So we were really trying to blend concert life, fun life, social life with work and education. And that's where the, career takeover, new bag idea came from. Just listening, again, not thinking that we know it all, and hearing our young people and hearing what they needed. And I think that's why we had the large turnout in year one, because we were listening. They knew we were listening.
Mm-hmm. So last year was very, very successful. And now you've had an opportunity to do some evaluation of what happened last year, what wasn't there last year, what was there, what you need to keep, what you need to eliminate. From your perspective, what do you think Employ Prince George has learned from last year's event, and how is that going to help evolve this year's event?
That's why I mentioned the parents.
Okay.
We were real heavy engaging the youth last year, on all the social media, talking to the influencers, talking to the media. And that's why this year I said, we needed more parents. We need more parents. Harold, please, don't just drop your child off. Don't just drop them off if they're 16, 17. Walk in. Even if you only walk in for 20 minutes, walk in with them. That's why we've been engaging the community more. We weren't on here last year, right? We really want parents, community members, elected officials. That's the big thing, Harold. We were engaged. We had the 400 or 500 young people show up. We had 800 register. Very few parents. And for those people that are under the age of 18, we got to figure that out, because they need that guidance. They're going to need somebody to reinforce that, hey, somebody said apply for the job or follow up with them. We're going to try to follow up with them, right? But if they're not one of our program participants, this is their first time coming, we need the community, we need the parents to also follow up. So that's why I'm saying to you, I'm really asking for parents to, even if it's 20 minutes, I know you're busy, but just walk in with them real fast, do a survey with them, and then you can go back and drop them off or go on. But the biggest thing, Howard, we need to increase is parent participation.
I know we're talking about young people, those 24 and younger, but is this in any way, shape, or form an opportunity for a young returning citizen, somebody who perhaps has had some difficult challenges with the law, still under the age requirement, but some may hear this and say, well, I've spent a little time inside a year for something that I shouldn't have done, and so now I'm out, I'm 21 or I'm 22 or what have you, and I'm not sure if this is an opportunity that presents itself for me.
Absolutely. So remember, Employ Prince George's has two youth sides. We have in-school youth, where we focus on young adults and young people that are in school, but we also have our opportunity youth, where that is anybody who's 18 to 24, not enrolled in school, not employed, this is for you. Returning citizen, under the age of 24, this is you. Young person maybe if they have a disability, this is for you, right? Even also now, we have bilingual staff. One thing that has changed from last year to this year, 20% of our career consultants speak Spanish. So we have a growing Hispanic population. We also have a couple of other languages that we speak. So all of our immigrant, refugee, assailee, English language learning community, under the age of 24, you're invited. We got resources. We will have bilingual staff on site. So all of those. I want to talk about this too. I want to toot our horn. We're the only jurisdiction in the region that has a $2 million incentive fund for returning citizens. So
explain what that means.
So if an employer hires, an employer can register with EPG, Employer Prince George's, for a position. If they fill that position with a qualified returning citizen, they get a reimbursement up to $5 per hour that the person worked that they paid for up to 1,000 hours per year. So $5,000 they will get reimbursed if they are paying for the salary of a returning citizen. And they can do they can pay, that's for 2 consecutive years. So they can get up to $10,000 per returning citizen they hire. And we got hundreds of thousands of dollars available. So that could be $5,000. If you hire 5 returning citizens, you employ them throughout the year, you can come back as long as you apply for it in advance and submit the paperwork. That's $25,000 we're giving back to that business for employing a Prince George's County returning citizen. Also, we have apprenticeships. If they employ an apprentice, they can also get up to another $5,000 per employee. They get that money on the first day of employment, right? On the first day of employment. We also have our WEX, our work experience program, where they can test drive, pilot new employees, and we will pay their wages for up to the first 12 weeks. So we're the only region that has a multi-million-dollar employer incentive fund for hiring Prince George's County residents, right? So returning citizen, young people, apprenticeships, not only can we help all of those people, employers that hire them that come to this event, they can also get a financial incentive.
So 2 questions. First of all, you said the WEX program?
Yep, WEX.
WEX. So explain a little bit more how that works.
So if we have an eligible participant, we take the participant, Walter Simmons, he's 19, he wants to go into whatever career, and we have an employer. Either the participant is coming for us or the employer says, hey, I got somebody I want to hire that's a Prince George's County resident that's 19. We will vet the job position. It's got to be a livable wage. We're not trying to cheat our young people. It's got to be a livable wage. So we vet the young person to make sure they're eligible and qualified. We vet the employer. We're not sending people to be working in your garage. No, sir. It's got to be a qualified employment. As long as that matches, we will match them with a structured program, what we call some kind of paid work experience, where they say, hey, we want to hire this person, but we're not sure. Okay, how long does it take for you to get sure? I'll know within 6 weeks. I'll know within 8 weeks or 12 weeks. Okay, we will help pay their wages for that period, 6, 8, or 12. We will pay their wages and cover them. And after that period, we want to come back and say, all right, are you good? Are they ready to be employed? Yes. If they hire them, then we will see if they qualify for some of those additional incentives that go straight back to the employer. But a multi-million-dollar incentive fund, we're the only region in the DMV. We've given out, Harold, in the last few years, we've given out over $6 million to employers for hiring Prince George's County residents. So we're the only workforce arm in the region that has a multi-million-dollar employer incentive fund for hiring Prince George's County residents.
Walter, share that website for this event again for registration and more information. I've got about a minute. CareerTakeover.com. CareerTakeover.com. And if you can't remember that, employpg.org. You can find it on our website there. So CareerTakeover.com or employpg.org. Walter Simmons, thank you so much for sharing this really important information. Of course, this is going to be on our website as well. And I think this is wonderful. And hopefully you'll be able to get as many young people involved as possible, not just with jobs, but with careers. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
That is the Daily Drum for this Thursday, May 16th. I'm Harold Fisher.